my name is Lena Kelly and I am a Client Services Librarian with YRL. Today's webinar will be about Solero, a new eResource being provided to member libraries. So our learning objectives today are how to access Solero, how to add and navigate courses, and explaining the benefits of Solero to patrons.
The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello and welcome to Solaro Basics. My name is Lena Kelly and I'm a Client Services Librarian with YRL. Today we will be examining Solero, a new e-resource available for all member libraries, and our learning objectives are how to access Solero, how to add and navigate courses, and explaining the benefits of Solero to patrons. So the first step in accessing Solero is to go to your library's website. From here, you will click eResources. You can search for Solero by typing in Solero into this search bar, and you could do this to find any of our eResources. I'm now going to click on Solero, and here it is. Now you can click on the blue button to access the eResource. It will take you to this sign-in web page, and when you're helping a patron, you will need their library card number and their PIN. So here's my library card number and my PIN, and press enter, and here we are inside Solero. If you're setting up this profile for the first time, it will ask you to accept the terms and agreement, and when you get to the screen, you won't see any courses here. But since I've used this profile before, you can see that I have one course added. So the next step once you're into Solero is to add a course. So you're going to click on this blue button here that says Add Course. Now looking at this page, you'll see the first thing up at the top is Add a License Key. We don't need to add a license key because we have a license provided for free because of our subscription to this e-resource. So you can skip over this section of the site and scroll down. Here, you're going to choose which region you're in. This way, the proper curricular outcomes will show up for each grade level. So obviously, I'm going to choose Alberta. I'm going to choose grade 3, and I'm going to press Update. So you can see here are all the courses available for grade 3, and here are all the courses available for grade 4. So Solero is a great resource in that it complements the curriculum and provides some instructional assistance for students. However, not all grades have all the courses. So you can see for grade 3, there's English, Math, and Science, and grade 4, there's just Math and Science. You can see here I've previously selected Science 4. I'm going to uncheck that one and choose Science 3. Now I press the Save button, and you can see on my dashboard Science 3 is now here. If I had left Science 4 checked, it would also be here. So this is another great feature of this resource, is that you could have many courses from different grade levels. So if a patron or student needs to review some concepts from Math 3 and then work on concepts in Math 4 because they're now in grade 4, you could have both courses going at the same time. Now, to get inside the course, I'm just going to click on that picture. So here we go. I'm now in the Science 3 course, and you can see here that there are various headings for us to explore. The first heading is Topics, and these are the units of study that Science 3 is broken down into. So Rocks and Minerals, Building with a Variety of Materials, Testing Materials and Designs, Hearing and Sound, and Animal Life Cycles. These are all the major units of study in the grade 3 science curriculum. Scrolling down, you can see my next heading is Assessments, and this gives students a chance to do some pre and post tests, look at their assessment results for any tests they've previously taken, or take some practice tests for the various units of study. Finally, at the bottom, we have the Study Tools heading. Students can take notes as they're reviewing topics, and they can prepare flashcards. I'll show you how to use these later on in the webinar. But first, let's choose a unit of study and do a bit of exploration. I'm going to choose Animal Life Cycles. So here you can see this unit of study, Animal Life Cycles, is broken down into subtopics. So we have here features of animals that can be observed, and you can see here this little series of letters and numbers. These are the standards or the curricular outcomes from the Alberta curriculum. So if you're curious as to how this resource lines up with what students are actually learning in their class, here is the outcome from the curriculum, the government document that teachers use to plan for teaching. So this subtopic, features of animals that can be observed, corresponds to outcome SC3.5.10.1. Classify a variety of animals based on observable characteristics, for example, limbs, teeth, body covering, overall shape, and backbone. You can see here, this check mark is grayed out. This subtopic has not been completed. And since I have not taken any practice tests or quizzes, there's no score here in this column. But let's go start this subtopic. So we are inside the lesson subtopic, and you can see here, this is grayed out and this is grayed out. This means I have not completed this lesson and I have not viewed the content. So as I go through the lesson, you can see that these lessons are beautifully written at a proper grade level for a student of that age. So the content here is written so a grade 3 student could read this content. They could also work through it with a parent if they struggle with reading. So I'm a student, I'm reading through all these. You can see there's helpful pictures to help me remember certain concepts. And as I go through the lesson, I can keep reading. And all the way down at the bottom of the lesson, I'll scroll through a little faster here. You can see this discussion board. This is not really a feature that I would recommend using. This is more if a teacher is using Solero in a classroom. So to get to the next part of the lesson, I would click this little arrow down here, or I can go back to see all the subtopics on the previous page, but I'm going to go through to the next lesson. So I'm going to show you some cool features of the courses now, those study tools that I mentioned. So this subtopic, what are mammals? Let's see. All mammals have the same characteristics. The bodies of female mammals make milk to feed their babies. Okay. So this sounds like an important piece of information for my studying. So I'm going to highlight that information. I'm going to click Add Note. I'm going to call this note Characteristic of Mammals. And you can see the note text is right here. The bodies of female mammals make milk to feed their babies. I could add to this. I could add, for example, a note that my teacher said in class or a trick to help me remember it. So I'll write one of the features of mammals. And I'm going to click Save. And you can see on the left-hand side is a little note card with a thumbtack in it. I can click on that note, read my note at any time that I'm in this lesson. Now let's see if I want to make a flashcard here. So it looks like there's a couple bits of information here. The mammals make milk, mammals give birth to live young, all mammals have hair or fur, and most mammals live on land. So I'm going to click on this and click Add Flashcard. I'm going to create a question. So let's see, what do we have here? 1, 2, 3, 4. What are the 4 characteristics of mammals? And here's the answer. I can edit the answer to make it more, kind of point form and snappy to remember. So I'm going to get rid of this and put in make milk to feed their babies. going to delete here. Give birth to live young. Have hair or fur. And then this will be my last characteristic. Most live on land. So you can see I've made this a little snappier to remember. I'm going to click Save. Now you can see any flashcards I make for this section appear over here. So this is a short little section, and you can see I've read through the whole thing. So now lesson completed, content viewed. I'm going to go back to the main section to show you what the notes and flashcards have done. So now you can see next to the What Are Mammals subtopic, there's a little green button that says Notes. So that means I've prepared some notes for that lesson. Now if I scroll all the way down to the bottom, if I go back to Science 3 and scroll all the way down to the bottom to my Study Tools section, you can see notes and flashcards. Let's see what happens when I click on Notes. Aha, you can see here in my notes about the characteristics of mammals. And it's from the lesson, What Are Mammals? I could click on this. I could see my notes here. I can print my notes. And this is very helpful for studying. I'm going to go back by clicking on Home. Oh, it took me all the way back to Science 3. Okay, now I'm going to look at my flashcards. So all the flashcards I make throughout my Science 3 studies become my flashcard deck that I can review at any time to help me study for a midterm or final. So you can see here I only have one card in the deck because I've only made one. Let's click on it. Aha, what are the 4 characteristics of mammals? I don't quite remember, so I'm going to view the answer. There they are. I can indicate how I feel about this. Not feeling so good. I might want to review it. I can also click here to go to the lesson to review that content. Once I have a number of cards in the deck, I can have them shuffled randomly and quiz myself with these note cards. I can also edit and delete them from here. All right, so let's go back to Science 3, go back to Animal Life Cycles. Now you can see I've completed these 2 lessons, so these check marks are here. Now I can take a practice quiz. Let's say I've done all these lessons, I can take a practice quiz. All right, so practice quiz rules. You may use a paper pencil. I guess the computer doesn't really know whether you've done that or not. You can end the practice quiz early. If you're not sure about an answer, click just guessing. That question will be marked with a special icon so you can review it later. And you have only a certain amount of time to finish your quiz. So let's start the quiz. See how much we know about grade 3 science. All right, which of the following statements about birds is false? Birds are warm-blooded. I'm fairly certain about this, so I'm going to choose next question. How many legs do insects have? 6, but I'm not sure, so I'm going to press just guessing. And now, next question. Which of the following statements about reptiles is false? All right, next question. Classify these 3 organisms. Okay. I think this one. Next question. All right. Gotta pick this one. Save, and I'm at the end of the quiz now, so save and score quiz. Yes, I want to complete the quiz. Let's look at this. I got 83%, 5 out of 6 correct. I guess I'm not quite up to snuff on my grade 3 science. So you can see here the questions I got right and wrong. So this question has a little bumpy circle because this was the one I was just guessing. So I can click my review your guess. And I can click on this to go back to the lesson where that content was found. All right, I'm going to go back. Question 1, I didn't get it right. So let's click review your answer. Birds are warm-blooded. Oh, which of the following statements? Oh, all birds cannot fly. That's the correct answer there. Great. So let's go back to Science 3 and see how our page has changed now. So now if I go to assessment results, you can see the score I got on this test. This is helpful because as you complete practice tests and quizzes, you can see your progress. You can also retake those practice tests and quizzes. All right. Another helpful feature of Solero is up here, there's a to-do list. So let's click on it. There's no items right now, but let's say I hadn't reviewed that quiz right here that I got 83% on. It would be here indicating that I had to review some of my incorrect answers, and I could click on it and go right to that quiz. Another interesting feature of Solero are the stars. So you gain stars by studying. You can redeem these stars for little clothes for your avatar. I've found the avatar kind of buggy to be honest, but maybe it'll work better for some people than others. You can see I've made my little person here already. These are just kind of the cutesy features of Solero. Overall, it's a great resource. Lots of different content on there. A great way to recommend this to patrons is if it's coming close to the end of the year and your copies of the key that everybody wants to study from for the grade 6 and 9 and 12 PATs are gone, you can direct them to Solero because Solero is made by the same publisher as the key, which is Castle Rock. So this is a great alternative to the key and maybe actually even more enjoyable for students than using the key. So that's pretty much it for us today. I really recommend that you go back through Solero and explore, try out some quizzes. It's pretty self-explanatory and there's always neat features to discover. Before we go, I just want to talk about some of the benefits of Solero. So as I mentioned, you can add subjects from different grade levels to your dashboard. So if you're working on concepts in one grade or the other, you can have them all there. They don't have to be just from the one grade. The lessons are written at a grade appropriate reading level, which is awesome. If students are reading at grade level, they can do this independently. One of the benefits is that teachers who are new to a grade can use Solero to brush up on new topics. My little sister got a teaching job last year, teaching grade 5. She wasn't quite familiar with the content. She used Solero to familiarize herself with the content and as a starting point for that curriculum. Another cool thing is adult students can use Solero to gain high school knowledge if they're continuing their education. So another quick little anecdote, I had a friend who wanted to go back to a university and do a Bachelor of Science, but she'd never taken Chemistry 30. She was teaching herself chemistry out of an old textbook, and I said to her, why don't you use Solero? So she went on, added the Chemistry 30 course to her dashboard, completed that course, challenged Chemistry 30, and got into her Bachelor of Science program. So this is a really helpful resource for those kinds of learners too. Just to recap a few of these things, how to access Solero. Big thing here is to go in through your library's eResources tab on your website. That's the best way to show patrons and really emphasize that, because if they get into Solero any other way, it's simply not going to work. So the library website is the best way to go about accessing Solero. Adding and navigating courses, you just click that button on your dashboard. As soon as you log in, you can add courses that way or click on any course to navigate through it. And we just went over some of the benefits of Solero to patrons. Hopefully you discover other benefits and hear other success stories for patrons about using Solero, and this is just a great resource. It's a great benefit for everyone that we can have access to this. So again, I encourage you to play around with Solero as there are many cool features. And if you have any questions about accessing Solero or using it, feel free to contact a client services librarian here at YRL, and we will do our best to help you. Thanks for listening and have a great day.